Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. So before we start our webinar, I have a couple of announcements. First of all, a link to YouTube live stream will be shared shortly in a chat box for those of you who have bad internet connection and maybe for whatever reason cannot stay in Zoom. Second, highlights of the talk will be shared at the end of the webinar. Questions can be also asked at the end of the talk, but you can also type questions in a chat box and we will try to see if the presenter can address them. Presentation slides will be shared after the webinar. A link to register for certificates of participation will be sent in the chat box by the end of the webinar. Please, when you fill out the form, make sure that you write your name the way you would like it to appear on the certificate. Because certificates will be sent from a webinar email account, I also recommend checking your spam boxes just in case. Another thing is that in the chat, by the end of the webinar, we will also send a link to a feedback form. And last but not least, please keep your microphones on mute during the talk and enjoy our webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arina. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are excited to have you here. This will be an opportunity for us all to learn from each other and grow together. For those who don't know me, my name is Faiza Dhuhli, and I'm the HOD of the English department at UTAS-Nizwa, and I'm a member of the organizing committee of this webinar. I will be your moderator for today, inshallah. So the webinar that comes under under the title, Get Your Manuscript Ready for Elsevier Journals, that will focus on discussing successful research dissemination at Elsevier Journal, which is a high-ranking journal offering research articles on varied fields of study. The webinar is highly sought after, as you all know, and it comes to fulfill the university's vision in terms of producing high-quality research output through sharpening faculty members' knowledge and skills of academic research. So, on behalf of UTAS-Nizwa, I would like to thank you once more for your attendance, and I wish you a very pleasant time with us. So before kicking it off, let's take a moment to introduce our guest speaker for today. Dr. Saif?
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Faiza, and welcome, Dr. Jinan. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so Dr. Jinan Isa is a well-published scholar, and her research areas are higher education, TESOL, quality of teaching and learning, and academic acculturation. She completed her MEd and PhD degrees in education and TESOL with distinction from University Sains, Malaysia. I hope I said that correctly, Dr. Jinan. And was awarded the university's gold medal for being the most outstanding candidate in education. Wow. She also received the university's fellowship scheme and was one of its brilliant student ambassadors. With over 18 years of experience in different countries of the MENA region, Malaysia and Canada, she came across different challenges and was fortunate to obtain exceptional opportunities as well. During her PhD journey, she received the exceptional opportunity to work on an international project in 4 countries, Malaysia, Australia, Hong Kong, and South Korea. She is certified from TESOL Canada and soon to get her OCALT recognition from TESOL Ontario. Finally, she gained substantial experiences from teaching international postgraduates and multicultural undergraduates. And above all, she's an exceptionally dedicated person who always seeks knowledge and happily shares it with those interested in knowledge building. And so without further ado, please welcome Dr. Jinan Isa. Thank you so much for being with us, Doctor. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. Thank you, Dr. Faiza. Thank you, Dr. Saif. I'm really honored to be here. and a very good morning from London, Ontario. A very good afternoon to everyone in Oman. Bonjour, buenos dias, to show that I've been learning Spanish since September. So let me share my screen. I hope you will enjoy my presentation today. Okay, so to start with, today I'm presenting about how to get your manuscript ready for Elsevier Journals. So my agenda for today, I will cover these things like why Elsevier, Scopus, researcher information, find the journal, journal metrics, top tips, prepare your journal, your manuscript title, why graphical abstract, keywords, introduction methods, results, discussion and conclusion, and then my personal tips for you. And as an activity I prepared, I created a Kahoot game. So first of all, why Elsevier? So Elsevier was headquartered, actually till now is headquartered in Amsterdam, and it was initially founded in 1880, and it has like offices worldwide. And according to this fast facts sheet about Elsevier, you can see here that like it's the most important thing to us that it supports the research community. And also you will notice that there are two, like here, famous names, Science Direct and the Scopus, which is famous to all researchers. And there is that R, capital R next to each of them, representing that these two are trademarks for Elsevier. Okay. And I also want to like draw your attention to this one, open access journals, and you see the figure below, which is 2,700 plus. So like according to a document that I downloaded from Elsevier, Elsevier has more than 11,000 well-reputed journals. From these 2,700 plus, they enable open access publishing, which is a great really. Okay, so let me start with the Scopus. And the Scopus, like it's very important for each and every one of us, researchers, academic staff, to get like our Scopus membership. So if you haven't got yours ready yet, if you haven't created yours to like till now, please make sure after this webinar to launch a Scopus website and create your own. And I already like added all the hyperlinks on the bottom of each of my slides. So let me start with the Scopus. If you look at this bird, definitely like you saw the pictures of this bird, maybe on TV, geographical documentary like channel, or maybe on a Google page, I don't know. So this bird is called hammerco. And hammerco, like it was named this because of its shape. And if you look at the bird, like the head, the neck, and the back is just like a hammer. And you can find this bird in Africa, also in Madagascar. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, and also in some parts of Saudi Arabia. Okay, so and it's also called Scopus ombre. So Scopus, this bird, has excellent navigation skills. That's why this registered a trademark for Elsevier was named Scopus. So to indicate that Scopus, with the Scopus, you can get like abstract, you can get citation database, and actually this was launched only in 2004. So not really far, like compared to the history of Elsevier itself that was founded in 1880. And Scopus uniquely combines a comprehensive and curated abstract and citation database with enriched data and linked scholarly contents. Scopus, in fact, is the largest abstract and citation database of peer review journals, literatures, scientific journals, books, as well as conference proceedings. So from this Scopus, you can not only get like journal articles. No, you can find also books, very interesting books, as well as highly prestigious conference proceedings. And if you look at this relationship model, actually you will be attracted to 3 key terms here. That is, Scopus data recognizes that articles are written by authors who have affiliations with institutions. So there are 3 important keywords here that I already highlighted. So Scopus, this fact sheets from Scopus, like, it supports different fields. Actually, it covers all the fields of study. So you can find journal articles, publications in social sciences and physical sciences and health sciences and the life sciences too. So there is a misconception that like Science Direct and Elsevier only kind of like mainly focus on life sciences and like medical research. Yeah, that was like, it was initially when it was first founded, yeah, like to support this kind of medical sciences. However, like really you can find the variety and like wide literature in all these fields. So it supports different fields. So definitely there is a journal for you to publish on. So Scopus again is an abstract and citation database. Okay, so as a researcher, you need to make sure that you have certain, like, you need to make sure that you have your unique identifier number. You need to make sure that you have your researcher ID set. So if, as I said, if you haven't done that before, make sure that you do it today. So let me share this with you. When I was at University of Science Malaysia, I was asked about my author ID, researcher ID, ORCID number, like unique identifying number. And honestly, I didn't have any of these. I was like, during that time, only having my researcher gate, like, and the LinkedIn, in addition to my Scholar Google account. So I created mine, like, sorry, I just logged into the website and I got like my unique identifying number. So let me share that with you. And it's a pretty easy, really. So orchid, it's pronounced as orchid, by the way. It's like the flower without having the H letter. So this is my unique identifier number. And like here, I wish that I have like created this before like publishing my first article, because like I published under different names, different spelling of my names because of my passport thing. So like you can see that there were some, like there are some publications with having my name with this spelling, and there are others with this spelling, and I still need to update this one because I haven't updated this one since 2019, because like recently I've been publishing under my new passport, which is Isa, comma, and then J, my initial. So anyhow, so when you click on this, you can create your own, you can get your own unique identifier number. And this will also immediately link you to your, yeah, I need to log into this one. So anyhow, like you will get also your researcher ID number from here. So the Scopus author ID number. So all will be linked together because all are under the big umbrella of Elsevier. Okay, so again here, okay, you can access like your articles, like regardless of, like when I first published these articles, like I published them under like, there were a few under the Canadian Center of like journals. There were others under other journals. So like Scopus and ORCID, because they support this abstract and citation database, so they combine all your stuff here. You can access and you can also monitor with the Scopus. You can build your publication profile and you can also monitor like your citation metrics. So please make sure like today, before, like after this presentation, to get your own unique identifier number and to create these like accounts. Also, I highly encourage you to get an account on Publons, and Publons is a great website also under Elsevier, but this is for reviewing, and it is available for anyone to register as a reviewer, and this really will like enhance your researcher skill because you will be reviewing journals from different parts of the world. So that usually like this is the front like page, sorry, the front card of your business card. So where you have your name listed, your institution, and your details. And on the back, you need to get your researcher information. Okay, so the first step in getting your manuscript ready is to find the journal. So here we have this journal finder. So I will click on this one. Sorry. Okay. Oh, there is some issue here. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, sometimes my mouse faces some issues. So here, when I click on that hyperlink, it linked me to Elsevier Journal Finder page. So when I click here, okay, like you have a story to tell to the audience, okay? However, let's say like you have not put that story according to a certain guidelines of a journal. So you just have a title and maybe you will change that title later, okay? But initially here, let's say at this stage, you have a title, you have a paper abstract, you have some keywords, maybe only one, okay? And then you click on the field of research. So let me just do a quick thing with you here. So this is like just an old paper for me that I published before. So let me copy and paste it here, the title. Same thing with I published that during my master's degree. Okay, so here, abstract, and I will copy and paste. Okay, let me just copy and paste the first key term here. Okay, and then for my field, I will choose social sciences or arts and humanities here. Okay, so here I have 30 journals, and actually it recognized my work because it's there. So I have 30 journals that matched my title, abstract. So I have the opportunity to submit my manuscript to any of these journals. Okay, so please do the same. It's a pretty easy and a quick forward. Okay, so I did that on also I did an example of this, and I took a picture screen of that and I put it here. So you can see here, I have 40 journals matching my paper, and I just took a picture screen for the first 3, and you can see there are certain figures here and with certain titles. So size score, impact factor, acceptance rate, times to first decision, and time to publication. So these are called the journal metrics. Okay, so I just also took a picture screen from Elsevier for the meaning, for the definitions of each of these journal metric things. So please make sure that you go through this one, and also you have the hyperlink for that source. Okay, so what's important here is the citation score and the impact factor thing. So all good and high reputed journals, they do have their impact factor thing. And please differentiate between the global impact factor and the impact factor. So global impact factor is not a good thing, because actually the global impact factor is like a replica for not really good journals, whereas impact factor is for the highly reputed journals. And it's very easy to find, because you spend lots of time, lots of efforts, you have research, and you want to share this knowledge, you have your own findings, you want to share that with the international readers. Okay, so please don't waste it on blacklisted journals or journals that aren't really good. Okay, you have the opportunity to get your work published at this let's say huge, enormous library of Elsevier, or even Taylor's and Francis. We might do a presentation about that in the future. Okay, so top tips during this stage of finding a journal. First one, you need to read the journal's aims and the scope to make sure it's a match to your work. So check whether you can submit. Some journals are only invitations. So if you receive an invitation from the editor, you can submit your manuscript. Otherwise, you cannot, because they have this kind of a closed system. However, these are only a few journals. the majority, you can submit to them. So just make sure that you're not submitting to any of these journals. Okay, and you can use the journal metrics, as I said before, to understand the impact of a journal. And here, this is the hyperlink. Okay, if available, check the journal, add journal insights for additional information about impact, speed, and reach. And if you're planning to do your postgraduate, doctoral study, or if you know any postdoc student, please advise them to check the hyperlink to access lots of a good stuff for their own study, because they do offer that for postdoc students for free. So second stage, prepare your paper. Okay, Elsevier, they do have like kind of a general guideline guide for like to prepare your manuscript according to Elsevier guidelines. Okay, so definitely you need to read this guideline, and here's the hyperlink for that. However, you can also like save time and prepare your manuscript according to like the guidelines of a particular journal. Okay, let's say that you did a step one, you know, like there are some journals that you would like to submit your manuscript to. So try to focus on any of that, like the journal that you're planning to submit your manuscript to. And like this is just, I took a picture screen for this journal, which is called Teaching and Teacher Education, which is my focus, like this is my field. So for that journal, you can see that they do have their own guidelines for authors. Okay, so everything is listed there. What is like how to put your manuscript according to, let's say, the specific requirement from that particular journal, starting from a graphical design, ending with acknowledgements. Okay, so make sure that you read that one. So if you need assistance with language, okay, Elsevier provides some services, like you can access the author services. You can also check Elsevier Researcher Academy. And actually, this is an excellent library because you can find the free online modules on how to help you as a researcher to prepare your own manuscript. And this is the last one, which is language editing services. So you'll find you can get different like packages, different offers for you to do like this editing services to your own manuscript. And believe me, this is really important, because if like the paper is produced in poor English, this might lead to a rejection decision, because like the editor or even reviewers might not be able to understand like your language, your manuscript. So definitely they will simply just click on reject, and that's it. So make sure that you put it, if you have a friend, a colleague whose English is so good, please ask your colleague to help with the language. Otherwise, you can consult any of these services. Okay, so moving to the manuscript, according to Elsevier Researcher Academy, this is the article structure. So definitely you need the title, an abstract, a keyword, and this one is called IMRAD, which is Introduction, Methods, Results, and Discussions. So this is like the structure for your manuscript according to Elsevier Journals, and you will have your conclusions, acknowledgements, references, and any supplementary data that you have to provide later. Okay, so to start with the title. So you need an enticing and interesting title. Make it catchy and very specific. Okay, so to make it specific, definitely you need to make sure that you have your key terms, your key concepts, like your IV, your DV, okay, in the title. Questions are really catchy, so I really encourage you to produce titles in a question format. Or you can also use proverb, and here I put an example for a highly cited paper in Higher Education Journal. I got this one from Higher Education Journal, sorry, it was published. And like you see here, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So this famous proverb was used on a purpose to serve like the title of this particular article, okay, and it gives the indication that this paper you're gonna read is about culture, is about acculturation, because it means that you will be assimilated in the culture of that new country. And then this was followed by a question, and this question has the key concepts in it, like, do international students' acculturation attitudes impact their ethical academic conduct? So you can see here that we have international students' acculturation attitudes. We have the verb impact to tell about which type of research is this. And we have ethical academic conduct. So the IV, the EV, and the type of like the study itself, you can get all from this title. This is another example of a title. And actually this title is from my recent published book chapter in Emerald. Okay, so it's my academic path as an international academic from MENA to Canada. So I used also proverb here. Good, better, best, never let it rest. So if you read the proverb, you will understand like this tells about different stages. And like the title itself gives you the indication that this is a narration. And that was the theme of the book. Okay, because it's a series about surviving in academia. Okay, so this one, when you read the title, you will understand that this is the narration of that particular academic staff or journal in different, let's say, spots, places around the world. And till now, like this person has not reached the final destination because never let it rest. So it is still going on. Okay, so please make sure to avoid abbreviations. There are very few titles where they use abbreviations, but this is not really preferable. So please make sure to avoid abbreviations. Not in the title, for sure. Okay, so your title should be accurate, unambiguous, and specific. So very specific. Please leave out the phrases like a study of, or let's say observation on, or investigation into. Don't use these, please. This is not a thesis. This is a journal article. Okay, as short as possible. I know the two examples that I provided to you are not really short. However, this happens if there is like a necessity to give this specific details about your manuscript, your work. Okay, but like if it is short, it will be really good. And this is an example of a short title. So why not the best performing schools? And actually this was for like, this title is for a famous book. So Elsevier Journals, many journals under Elsevier, they support graphical abstract or visual abstract. So what is a graphical or visual abstract? So let me start with abstracts in general. So abstracts are brief summaries of articles. They should be accurate. Don't promise more than your article delivers, so that the reader, when the reader like reads the title and the abstract, they will get an idea of your entire paper. Because like in the abstract, it's the brief summary of your thing, and the title has the main like key concepts, okay? The constructs of your research. So what about the graphical abstract? So visual abstracts are concise summary of the main findings of the article. So it's about summary again, however, this summary is about the main findings of the article. And it's visual, so there are pictures. So, and it has like three components. So the first component is a brief. So for a brief, you might have from 5 to 7 sentences. Okay, this is the average. No more than 15 words. That's for the first component, which is a brief. The second one is visual data. And for visual data here, or data, you can have your own personalized graphs. Okay, so this is the second component. You will have your own graphs. The third one is a white space. So make sure that you like have these three components in your graphical abstract. Okay, and like you can create your graphical abstract by following these steps. So to create an attractive graphical abstract, definitely you need to follow the journal article guidelines again. Make sure that you you focus on the guidelines of your journal article, because definitely like there are some like let's say general guidelines for Elsevier about not only about the journal but also about the graphical abstract. However, there are very specific requirements by certain journals. So make sure that you like prepare your graphical abstract according to these requirements. Second one is to summarize your own findings of the research in this visual abstract. So remember, it includes findings. And then you select appropriate platform to create this graphics, and I will give you some like platforms later. And then you need to add important design elements and keywords and make your design crisp and simple. And definitely you need also to make sure that you choose any colors if it is like in the guidelines, because some guidelines they mention they require certain colors. If not, just make sure that they are in the appealing colors to the readers. So always review a journal's instruction for authors before starting. And here I have an example of journal guidelines. Okay, so this journal, they do have their own requirements for a graphical abstract in terms of the image size, like the font that they require for this, the file type to be submitted, and the style. So make sure that you follow this, please. Okay, if there are any requirements different from the general guidelines of Elsevier. Okay, so graphical abstract key components, as I said before, there's the visual abstract title. By the way, let me mention that I got this from Elsevier website. So these are the general guidelines from Elsevier about the graphical abstract. But the one that I just showed you was very specific, related to a certain journal. So for the general guidelines, like the key components here, visual abstract title or article title, main section, you need that. For that one, it represents the visual representation of methods, intervention control, and outcomes. Conclusion statement, they also mentioned, and like you need author name, social media handles, and this will be done after your manuscript is published. So this is for the purpose of getting it published on your social media accounts, okay, and to increase the engagement. So you will have your GOI later because it's already published. Okay, so that's a later stage. For the image size, certain requirements, if you use the PowerPoint program, because like this is one of the platforms that you might use. If it's any other program, you have some other specifications regarding the measurements. Okay, for the phones, you can use any of these. And as I said, again, this is from Elsevier. So these are the general guidelines to prepare your graphical abstract according to Elsevier. But make sure that you read the guidelines of your particular journal. Okay, so this is one of the platform. It's called Platicone, and this one provides you with free icons and the stickers that you can use on your graphical abstract. You can create an account on this website, and it really provides you with free icons and the stickers. And I think like when you create an account, you will be asked for your credit card details. So don't worry, just add them. You will be given, I think, 1 free month, but like 1 or 2 days before your membership like starts to like your credit card, let's say, make sure that you delete, your credit card details like 2 days or even 1 night before your free trial. Okay, I did that with Canva and it worked perfectly well. So this is an example. Okay, you can see here. Okay, these are the findings. And if you read here, I think that. So think gives you the impression that this study was mainly about perceptions. So think about the language that you will use, the verbs, okay? And these are the findings, and these are the graphics, okay? And it's very simple. This is the white background that I told you about, the sentences, the briefs, okay? And those graphs. And I think this was prepared on Word maybe, or with the help of maybe Canva or Adobe Illustrator, because it's very simple and straightforward. Okay, so why graphical abstract? So it's a visual summary of your article's main findings. It's shareable on social media, appeared in online search engines. So it's like, let's say, Google friendly, and any online search engines are friendly. So this really increases engagement by 2. So this is the main thing, right? And to increase your citation rate as well. So help readers organize the data and the process information more easily. And before telling you about the platforms, okay, so like when you get your graphical or visual abstract, like you can, readers can interact with the authors to ask questions about that, so they can understand your work from that, like very brief, very catchy, okay, visual abstract. So like it will increase your engagement, might increase also your citation. So this is the main thing. So there are some platforms that you can use to create this one. I use Canva myself because it's very easy to use, and it's similar to Flaticon, that like it gives you one free trial, like month trial. So when I created my account on Canva, I was asked for my credit card details, so I included them. However, like 2 nights before the actual, okay, let's say monthly subscription starts to be on, I just deleted my credit card details. So, and within that month, I managed to download many excellent features of that, like for example, this template that I'm using right now, PowerPoint. You can create plenty of things, posters, logos, okay, and of course you can keep your monthly subscription active. Like for me here, it's around 17 Canadian dollars, but if you really need to use that like constantly, yeah, this is an excellent platform. Otherwise, you can enjoy the free features of it. Okay, Adobe Illustrator, of course, Adobe Photoshop, the one that we know, the famous one, PowerPoint slides, and Word document as well. So you can use any of these platforms to create your graphical abstract. So keywords. Okay, important words that are relevant to the work you're presenting and capture the research effectively. So they are used by abstracting and indexing services. And like usually these keywords are like, they include your main key concepts. So they are used to increase the chances of the article being found by other researchers. Okay, so many Elsevier journals also ask for specific, subject classification during the online submission process, because this helps editors to select reviewers as well. So it's not only important for the readers, but also for the journal itself, for the editor to find like reviewers in your area from your keywords. So a good tip here is, imagine your readers searching for research they are interested in. So what would they type in the search box? Think of that to like get your key terms. This will really help. So the introduction section, make it brief. Please, please, please. I capitalize the word brief to draw your attention. So it is brief here. Provide context and background, but not a history lesson. State the problem being investigated. This is the first thing to state. Second one, state its contextual background. State the reasons for conducting the research. And state the questions you're answering. So what's your research question here? Explain any findings of others that you're challenging or building on. So you see, it's all here in the introduction. However, it must be brief because this is not a thesis. Okay, so make sure to include all of these items. So briefly and logically lead the reader to your research questions, hypotheses, and methods. All in the introduction section. Methods. So methods should be detailed, not like the introduction. So detailed enough to enable readers to replicate your research and assess whether the methods justify the conclusions. Advisable to use the past tense here. Explain how you studied the problem, identify the procedures you followed, structured information as logically as possible. Explain your criteria for selecting participants here, because this is your methodology section, and include certain information in the ethics statement, such as committee approvals and permission to publish. Identify the equipment and materials you used here. Okay, moving on to the results section. So present your findings objectively, explaining them largely in text. Show how your results contribute to the body of scientific knowledge. Be clear and logical here. Don't interpret your results because this is not your discussion, remember, section. So interpretation will come later. This is only to show your finding. Base the sequence of this text on tables, figures, and the graphs that best present your findings. Emphasize any significant findings clearly. Tables and figures must be numbered separately. Figures should have a brief but complete description. Okay. So these are important details according to elsevier.com. For discussion and conclusions, describe the meaning of your results, especially in the context of what was already known about the subject. Results directly support your conclusions, so there is a link between the two. Take care not to summarize your article. That's what the abstract is for. So this is not the summary section. Summary goes in the abstract. No, this is your discussion. This is your interpretation. Okay, and you must link your discussion to the conclusion. Link this section back to the introduction, referring to your questions or hypotheses, and cover how the results relate to your expectations and cited sources. Okay, so remember, please, to create this unity and coherence among all the sections of your manuscript. So do the results support or contradict existing theories? You really need to think about this question and make sure that you answer it in the discussion section. Don't introduce the reader to a whole new vocabulary. And if you have like a new finding you didn't refer to in your previous sections, make sure that you go back to the introduction and insert it. Okay, I'm almost there. Okay, wonderful. I'm aware of time, don't worry. So my personal tips to you. The first one, read, read, read. Please be a reviewer. And I introduced you with Babylons. So please create an account on Babylon and like try to read and read like the entire manuscript, the entire thing from the title till references. Okay, because like to learn a new language, we always say listening skill is the key, but to be a good writer, reading is the key. My second advice to you, my second tip to you is to cite from the same journal. Okay, what does this mean? Let's say that you would like to submit your paper to this particular journal. Okay, so try to search that journal about articles or about some materials that relate to your work. So in your background, in your literature review, your citation will be from that particular journal. The editor's work. Okay, so who's the editor of that journal? This is my secret. So type the editor's name in Google Scholar. okay? And check, okay? You definitely will get something from, I'm sure you'll find a lot from the editor's publication that relate to your work. So make sure to cite from the publications of that particular journal, like of that, sorry, the editor of that particular journal. Please do that. Okay, so that like when the editor or even the reviewers, they review your work, they will say, wow, this author really cited a lot from this particular journal. So this is a useful tip. And like a well-known, highly reputed researcher told me about that, thanks to him, because it really worked. Okay. With this said, I will come to the references section. So I prepared my references according to the APA style, but Elsevier gives you even another useful trademark, which is Mendeley. And with Mendeley, you can see here, you can manage your references using this website, and you can create a free account on Mendeley for this one. And also you will have like your publications cited. You can access them from Mendeley as well. And this also a trademark of Elsevier. Okay, and I have an exit activity for you, a very short Kahoot game that has 10 statements about today's lecture. I hope I have time to do that with you. So do I have time? Sorry, Dr. the
Yes,
organizer.
Dr. Jinan. Just Dr. Jinan, you do have.
Yash? Okay, thank you so much. So please grab your mobile phones. I have a free account here, so I don't know how many players I'm allowed to. Okay, so please grab your mobile phones. Yeah, and use this game pin, or just use this one. And type your name, and let's see how many players we can have here. So just scan this code. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Faisal. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so okay, let's just start. I think I only can play it with 14 players. Sorry about the others, but please like make sure that you watch, because this is like really intended to foster the learning from this workshop. So let's just start. So get your manuscript ready for Elsevier Journal. Okay, the first question. Elsevier is headquartered in, with offices worldwide, Vienna, Berlin, Amsterdam, or New York. Wonderful, wow. Okay.
That's me, I got it.
Okay. So yeah, you all got it correctly, and Mr. Brian was really fast. Okay, thank you so much. Let's move on to the next question. So step one in preparing your manuscript is to prepare your paper, Prepare your title, abstract, and keywords. Find the journal. Read the published quick guide. Okay, wonderful. So most of the answers are there. Again, oh, Huda now. This was really fast. Thank you so much. So great writers read other people's article, true or false? Wonderful, all correct answers. And Mr. Brian again. Thank you. So publishers and authors correct manuscripts language, true or false? Okay, wonderful. So we have 11 correct answers. Oh, 3 players just hit answers trick 3. They are on fire. Wonderful. Mr. Brian is again on the top. So a graphical abstract is a useful way to provide a visual summary of your article's main findings. True or false? Okay. Twelve correct answers. And Aisha, okay, is on the top of the list now. So manage your references with Orchid, Scopus, Researcher Academy, or Mendeley. "13 people. Okay, chose Mendeley. Wonderful. And who was fast? Aisha. Is this still, yeah, on the top? So Scopus can tell you who's researching any global literature and where they are doing it. Whom, when, what, or who. Who's researching? Okay, 9 what? So yeah, remember there was authors and then articles, that is for what? And there was institutions. Aisha is on fire. Wow. So download free icons and the stickers for your projects using the Flaticon. Is it true or false? "11 correct answers. I'm happy. I'm really happy you were listening. And Aisha's is still on the top of the list. Okay. Abstract should summarize the problem or objective of your research and its methods, results, and conclusions. "11 correct answers. Aisha's is still on fire. Wow, that's exciting. So an abstract usually includes references, figures, or tables. Is it true or false? I think that's pretty easy. Excellent. All of you got correct answers. So rank 3, Hope, 2, Huda, and 1, Aisha, well done, all of you. Thank you so much. Runners up, Mr. Brian and Kauthar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jinan.
Thank you,
for this
sorry.
lovely time. Everyone, we have sent the form. Please fill it in with the names, your first name and family name that you would like us to put on the certificate. So please do that. And we will also now share with you the feedback form. It's already shared, so you will find it in the chat. Please do that. Give us your feedback on this webinar. And before we end this, we would have 5 minutes for questions. So if you have any question for Dr. Jinan, please feel free to do so. Anyone? You can open your mic and speak if you have any question. Everyone? Okay.
Hi, Dr. Jinan.
Sorry.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Hello. I really enjoyed. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. We enjoyed that Kahoot game. Thank you.
You're
Anyway,
welcome.
I have a question about the graphical abstract. Is that the same as the poster presentations?
No, it's different.
Okay. How is that
Yeah.
different?
Like poster presentation, you only present, like you prepare your poster, and when you go to participate in a conference, you only present about your poster. But this one, this is part of your full manuscript. Like this is part of your full, let's say, like you have a full paper. So part of that paper is the graphical manuscript. So
it cannot be used as a poster presentation.
No, it's not. It cannot be, like each has different guidelines to prepare. So that one is for conference purpose, and this one is for a journal one.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is only recent. It's been a few years since this was introduced in Elsevier, and it worked pretty well to increase the engagement and citation rates.
Dr. Jinan, are graphical abstracts applicable to all fields? Can you just...
To all fields, like the one I shared was from social sciences, arts, it was about English. So I did that on a purpose because the majority, they use them for scientific reasons, like medical fields, chemistry, biology. So when I shared that one, I wanted to say that it's not only for scientific fields, it's also for social sciences fields as well. So many journals support graphical abstract, but not all. My expectation is that like all will support this because, you know, like all journals wants to increase the citation rates of their like articles, right? So, and this is an easy way, just like social media, because you can also share them on your social media accounts.
Yes, and it needs a lot of work, I believe.
Not really. No, not really. Yeah, no.
If you are not a visual person, I mean, it will maybe need some work from your side as a writer, I mean.
Yeah, very true. Because like you need to create this one and to think about creativity aspect, like how to make it catchy, eye appealing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Aisha, you asked questions about sharing the slides. Yes, we will be sharing the slides shortly after the meeting. Oh, sorry, after the webinar ends. So that would be done. Any other question, everyone?
Yes, please, Dr. Faiza.
Yes, Mahmoud, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jinan, for this informative presentation. I really learned lots of things from you. I would like to thank you for this. However, I have a question. I have shared, we were like 3 authors. We published a paper and we published it in English language teaching, a Canadian journal. And then later we discovered that it's not a Scopus journal. It's not a Scopus. And then when I checked, I found that it was a Scopus journal, but now it's not. So how can we find out, for example, if the journal we are publishing on is Elsevier or Scopus?
like I already included all the hyperlinks for Elsevier. So I can also share with you, an Excel sheet that have all the journals in Elsevier listed on that Excel sheet. I can share that with you for sure. But whether it's Scopus, whether it is, let's say, like something else, maybe Thomson Reuters, maybe Web of Knowledge, these are highly reputable journals. So that's why, like, my advice for you was to check the scope, the aim, all the journal metrics before you submit your work. Because as you said, like, you spent efforts, you spent time on this, and you want like as many as international readers to make good use of your work, right?
Yeah.
And to share it as well, like to cite your work, because this is the main point, right?
Yeah.
They make good use of it, so they will use it themselves. So definitely they have to cite your own work. So please check. And I forgot to mention another important tip. Like if you submit to a particular journal, and let's say that the decision might be rejection. Okay, don't be sad, please, because you will be sent with feedback. So make sure that you read the feedback and you try to improve on your journal and incorporate any of the feedback like points and resubmit that to another journal. Okay, but like you didn't waste your time in waiting for a decision from that journal. No, it wasn't like just in vain. No, because you will receive definitely there will be very useful feedback from that journal. Okay, and this will increase the chances of your manuscript being accepted by the next journal that you will submit to.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Jinan. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for making the time to sit through this presentation. It was lively, engaging, educative, and fulfilling because of Dr. Jinan's knowledge and expertise, and because of your presence as well. So thank you, everyone. We would like to hear your feedback, so please do that. And if you have any further questions to Dr. Jinan, please email her. We shared her email contact in the chat. So please don't hesitate. She is a person who would never hesitate to help and support any knowledge seeker. We always consult her, we always take her advice on stuff, and we are very proud to know this human being. She is just amazing. Thank you very much, Dr. Jinan, and thank you everyone for attending the webinar. I hope to see you in our second webinar next semester, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much for this excellent organization. Thank you for sending me the invitation and giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge with everyone. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful. And you can see it's still dark here because it's foggy today.
Yes. And we truly, truly appreciate it, Dr. Jinan, for just taking the time to do this. Thank you, everyone. And we hope to see you in our next webinar.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you, Dr. Jinan. Thank you, everyone. Bye.